Welcome everyone to our video cast. I'm Doug Stevens, your host. This is called Hello Darkness, Stories That Transform. Less than a month ago, my wife and I were joining a team that led a retreat for pastors and their families that came all across Ukraine for a week of renewal, a week of rest, and it was an amazing experience. One of the resources we had was a trauma therapist named Anastasia, and she is with me today with us. I'm going to be interviewing her, and I'm delighted to do so. She's got a lot of experience and wisdom. She's going to share some impressions and some insights that I think will be very helpful. So here we go. Anastasia, welcome.
Thank you, Douglas. Thank you for this invitation. This is the good opportunity to have a discussion with clever men and to have a chance maybe to share the story about my incredible country and experience that we are going through.
Yes. Very eager to hear what you have to share with us. I will try to be that clever man who asks the right questions and listens well and keeps us moving. Let's begin. Here we are at the end of July, and obviously we hear the news here in the West about the drones and the missiles and the damage done in Ukraine, across Ukraine, including Kyiv, the capital, where you live. Tell us what is happening right now and what the mood is where you live.
It's always super complicated question when it comes to explanation to foreigners who didn't have opportunity to hear and to see what's happening.
Yes.
Because during this fourth year, we are kind of used to terrible things, sirens, rockets, shots, and so on. And I can say that this pressure is completely high. Still, people someone feels freezed, someone feels shocked, someone losing their hope even. But with human being designed the way that he can adjust his reaction and adjust his psychological mood to the very different things. And we know it from historical books, from the Bible. We know that we can pass through the very horrible things and stay alive.
Yes.
It's very different to explain, elaborate, but I can say to everyone who see us that, guys, it looks terrible, it looks shocked, and it's huge pressure to every human being living in Ukraine.
Yes. Well, I know there's been a tremendous resilience in the people of Ukraine going through this, and yet it's so hard, and there's an exhaustion that sometimes takes place. We felt that at the retreat from people, and yet there was a resurgence of hope as we spent time together sharing with each other. Tell us something about your background. You're a young adult, I think in your 30s, something like that.
35.
And give us a little background. You're Ukrainian born, and what is your heritage there?
Well, looking back now to my life, I can say that it's been amazing from childhood up until now. I am the kid of 90s, and I was born just a year before my country declared independence from USSR, as you know. And this fact became a turning point for many people, I think, like many people that lives across Ukraine and Russia and other USSR countries. And what I remember from my childhood, it's the blossoming green, incredible, absolutely delightful Kyiv. And same time, I remember snow drifts 9 meters high from Siberia. That's where my parents end up following the better life. So from, I think, my 2-month-old, I spent first 10 years of my life in Siberia.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, that's a long story short. And I think it was amazing memories, full of nice pictures. But if we will come closer to my youth, um, I preserve in my memory um, that friendship. I think friendship was the most important thing for me, and then this is the build me as a person. I trying to build the best connections with my uh, friends at school and then university and then in the dancing club. I was this type of person that went back to my childhood and found my husband among people who I was in school with.
Wow.
Um, from the hobbies, I had journalism for many years. So I attended journalism school where I was learned some principles of storytelling, studies stylistic and practice interviewing. But at some point, for I don't know, for some reason, I lost this interest and came to university. And then my first job started, and I have super complicated character back then. I was this type of person who was very hard, very difficult to convince when I was wrong. And I was on my own from very young age, like from 16. We live the life when if you want to live like average life, the very middle one, you should work very hard. And that's what my mother did back then. And I think the real story of me becoming independent person that knows what she want to do became at my 23. From the day when I traveled to Israel, and my story changed in the departure airport when I saw amazing unit. It was Israeli security forces that did security for aviation. And after coming back, I dream. I ran to them with my CV to participate to get this job as well. It was my dream, I think. But what I wanted to say, what I wanted to share with you when I was thinking about the interview, that we in our young ages have very tricky question. Who do you think you want to be? And why it's tricky? Because answering this question, half of my life, I think I thought that I want to be very cool. My answer contained the external picture. I didn't think whom I want to be inside, what kind of person I want to become. I thought
Mhm.
about the fact how people gonna see me. And obviously, I wanted to be, this distinguished person who's everybody's respect, who's just getting everybody's respect and etc. I didn't have an answer on a question what type of the person, what is my identity, who am I?
Yes. Yeah, that's such a critical question. And many of us wrestled with that for a long time. So, was there a breakthrough with that?
Yes, moving forward, I had, chapters, as everyone has their own season of my life, of the life, me either. So on the day one, when I started to work with this Israeli company security office, I felt that I found all the answers. I was 25, 24, 25 years old, and I thought I'm super cool one, very interesting, clever individual. But moving forward, there were a lot of things has been changed after then. I was living a good life. I was very productive. I did my job excellent. I learned, I changed a lot of things, but I wasn't happy and I was very traumatized since I think my childhood, but I didn't recognize it till my 30, I believe.
Mhm. Can you say something about the trauma, the source of that?
Yeah, long story short, I'll try to be logical in this life story. So I think after 6 years of very intensive work in this aviation security, I realized one important thing, Douglas. First of all, that I have already said that I pursued external validation that was part of the big wound I had. And maybe you know this picture. I will try to explain. I'm deeply sorry for my kind of poor English, but I'll try to do my best. So
You're doing fine.
This is the picture. Where is the donkey on it? So the donkey walks with a stick that's tied to it. And from the stick, there is a hanging, the carrot, like a hanging on the rope.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it runs, and no matter how fast it runs, it can't catch the carrot. I was the donkey. I was this
Okay.
donkey indeed. And around this time, my father died. I was 28, 29. I'm sorry, I was 29, and I have to say that our connection and all of our life story also was a big wound of my life. And that was the point when I undertake the biggest inventory, if I can say that,
Inventory. Yes.
inventory of my life. So this complex was very interesting. I found many different questions that answers on it still the part of my life story.
You're still on this journey of discovery, aren't you?
Right. After
Yeah.
6 years, I need to confess to myself and to people that you can't turn off or heal something all at once and forget
Yes.
about this.
Yes.
So in that particular moment, I had already a social degree, but it looked really insufficient. So I went to university already, like almost 30 years old. I went to university to get a master degree in psychology. And then I had the long practice in specific particular clinic that dealing with addicted people. So it was rehab and recovery clinic.
So addiction rehab. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Obviously, the story came from my past. My father died from alcoholism,
Okay.
and even though in that point my life went pretty well, I think I felt that I can easily repeat his story. Like,
Yes.
you
Yes.
feel when you looking very honest and very transparent to what you're doing, to the way you live in the life, to solutions that you're making, to decision, to all parts and pieces of your life, you see, listen, it's so easy to go exactly on by the same map that he used.
Right. Yeah.
So this is the part of the trauma, I believe.
Okay. So
And
what
then
was your calling into trauma therapy or therapy, psychotherapy? Um, was it really to kind of resolve some of your own issues as well as help other people?
okay, what I'm gonna say, it was the very interesting way. And then lately I read the book of other amazing person that explain me basically my background, because I get exactly the same position. When you believe that you come to help someone, but you literally need help yourself.
Yes.
And I learned in this process that it's not enough to forgive person who will never ask for your forgiveness. You also need to forgive yourself, because healing without forgiveness impossible is
Yes.
impossible.
Yes.
If you if you claim healing, it's like to put without this forgiveness process, I mean, but you claim that you healed. It's very similar with putting bandage on the wound that needs, surgery. So
Right.
you're basically trying to, again, to get back to the external vision of healing. Doesn't work well. It's a lie. It's very, it's stealing your time. It's stealing your energy and bringing you back to the very beginning. even after ages.
So you are currently doing some therapy, of course, yourself with other people.
Yeah.
You have your own clients, and you are continuing to heal yourself. Yes?
Answering your question, I say that my um, therapeutic work began with myself,
Good,
but
good.
now I'm continuing doing it together with many other people that come into my room, to my office for treatment. I'm going to my own therapy as well, and these things that happening in Ukraine now, our war that changed every life, every single life here, brought me to the place where I am. I can say that, every Ukrainian in that particular day in February 24, 2022,
Yes.
learned so
That,
much about himself or herself.
yeah.
We learn that we are capable of very impossible things. We learn that love is a verb. I was the one from millions of people that learned that love is a verb. Every person learned this. We save children, animals. We went to the various terrible and dangerous places in the very first days with humanitarian aid, for example. As you know, today, these global volunteering ambassadors, they stand for aid to Ukraine, but in the first place, we accumulated all the things on our own. And that's where I should change probably my own perspective and start help volunteering and do psychology to many other people with trauma.
So now, when this war breaks out, you feel the call now to care about other people and not just plain your own life.
Yes, and I want to tell you something about this and understanding of difference in people that you should work with. And we're, as everyone who's trying to help other people, need to understand one point.
I'm on the edge of my seat. I can't wait to hear this.
I'm trying to think and be very, don't to throw many words. um, I've got a very important experience in volunteering in one camp for Ukrainian refugees that welcomed more than 1,000 people in the 2 years that I've been here, year and a half to be straight. And when you see so many very different people, you're changing your life perspective. Because when you're just living your life, how many people do you know? Let's say it's 150, 200 people, and you chose to be with them, your friends, your colleagues.
Yeah, you have so much in common already with those people.
Yes. And for you, this is like a big balloon that you're living in. And every one of us, they basically see the world and they do their own calculations based on the experience they've got from these 120 people they know and chose. So
Inside this balloon, yes.
yes, and after been in this service and so very different people, this is the game changer. You change in your perspective. You see that the middle Ukrainian is very different from what you've been thinking before that. And when you come to help the middle, refugee, middle woman, middle kid, middle Christian, you have your own understanding of how this person's supposed to look like, what he or she's supposed to say, how he's supposed to cry. But you always gonna be surprised because
Yes.
it has nothing with reality.
Yes. This is an awakening to the real world.
Oh yes, that's where you understanding how weak you are, no matter how many books did you read, or how many university you finish, when you're standing in front of the real trauma, you should accumulate extraordinary things to help, to heal, to provide.
Yeah. Yeah. let's talk about the spiritual dimension of this journey for a moment as you're moving along here, and how is that changing as you encounter trauma and go through your own healing? What can you
Uh,
say about that?
well, I should say that first of all, I'm around. Like I became a very um, confident believer on my 30s after father died. My family, they're very nominal Christians that goes to some celebration, to some particular days of the church. I
Yeah.
never knew God before that. I never thought about this. But now what I can say that the one of my favorite social roles is that I'm a Christian. And I wasn't wrong saying that it's social unit. I know that all the believers call Christianity kind of their identity or something like this. But as I have said, when you are no longer in bubble of 200 people and you meet different people, many of them will be not a Christian. They will be very broken. Many of them will be very angry to know that God is keeping silence and war is happening and
Yes.
are dying. Many of these people terribly angry
Yes.
at him. And that's when my social role as a Christian is the absolutely personal experience and example. Over the years of Christianity, my lesson number one is the personal example is the best evangelism tool that you may have. No matter
Yes.
what's happening, your personal example can provide. It's
When
a
love becomes a verb.
right. You can
Yes.
you can pray with people, but if they're angry and broken, and I saw them, I saw mother that lost two kids and her husband at war, and after a year of these things happen, she lost her place to live, and now she's a refugee that lost pretty much everything in her life. I promise you, if you will try to say her that God loves her, she will answer you something that you don't like to hear.
Yeah. Yeah. The anger will come out. Yes. So what do you do? Do you stay with her? How are you a social how are you a social influence now for Christ in her life?
Well, answering this question, I'll say that psychology as the science is amazing, perfect tool to help people,
Yes.
but not enough.
Not enough.
Enough. Christianity, in my practice, give me kind of supernatural strength to stand when you hear story that I just told you with people who lost their loved one, when you need to provide with supernatural support and heal.
Yeah.
My current client are deeply traumatized people. And no matter how many books I have, how many courses from trauma counseling I went through and diploma I have, no matter what, the woman in front of you that's crying, that doesn't want to live anymore, needs something supernatural. And God
Yes.
provides. God
Yeah.
provides with the right word for me, with the standing for me, because after these sessions you also may feel broken after you work with 10
Yeah. You're affected by this for
weekly,
sure.
you're also traumatized.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say in this point that science is ineffective. It's not true. Psychology is amazing tool,
Yes.
but the main idea of healing belongs to God.
But the ultimate healing belongs to God. The healing of the heart. Yeah.
Yeah, and healing of the thing that you can't consist. Sometimes we can't consist things that's gonna happen to us, or we're gonna face with people around us.
Yeah. And you need wisdom in the moment that you can't just quote a line from a book. God has to give it to you.
Right. Open
Yeah,
heart, give you power, give you super battery. You're gonna be crying with those who's crying, and you should be honest, but you should stand.
yeah. So when you were at the retreat, um, with all these pastors and their families, and they're as human as anybody else, and they're going through so many things. Some of them are on the front lines. There was a family that didn't know if they could actually return. They brought everything they needed with them in case the advance on the Russian side had come into their community. What was that week like for you? What did you experience?
I'll tell you. As I have said, 5 plus minus 1, give or take, year, I am in my full power Christianity.
Yes,
Coming,
I love
30
it.
years old girl that that married just last year, no kids, to the conference, to the retreat slash conference, because it was a lot of studies there, to women with
Yes,
11 kids average, I think, that that women, that wives of pastors, servants, powerful, clever, deep. And I was praying, God, what I can bring them, what I have from you or from myself to bring these women to support. As the first thing that comes to my mind was impossible. I can't provide them with anything that they don't know. That's what was my first things when Pastor Leonid called me. But then I thought about the power that is not in my hands. And I just say, okay, I'm doing my part. This is the rule. I'm always doing my part. In relations with God, you should also work. Many people don't think about this. They just, praying and sitting and waiting. I
yeah,
know that I need to do my part. So I prepared my presentation, my topics. I did my best from my side, and I just went. And when I came, I saw so many women so stressed by war, so
yes,
stressed by the future of their many kids, so in need of refilling because they need to come back to their communities, to their churches, and provide again. And now they want to be the one who get it. And you just taking your piece of cake and doing your best together with God as a partnership. From what I hear as a word of these women, what they told me after all, that the most important point that they heard from our sections was that fear and um, panic that comes with the war doesn't mean the lack of hope, of trust to God. This was the rule breaking sentence, because they always were, not all of them, but many were afraid to confess, to face the fact that their conditions, the human conditions of fear, of panic, it's the normal reaction on the things that happen to them, and it
right.
has nothing to do with the weakness in their belief. And now I'm thinking and praying and reading about it everything I can, because I found out that my sisters-in-law, not only in this our conference, but in my church, and many people around me feel the same,
Yeah.
that they are not allowed to, to enter the door to fear to their heart, but it's not true. We should.
So this is very challenging because as human beings we feel the fear even to the point of panic, and
Right.
yet we know we have a God that we can trust, but we don't have to pretend like we're not afraid because we are afraid, and we can bring that to
Right.
God and bring it to him and give it to him, and somehow along the way God shows up. Something like that.
Right. even you now adding to, to the all information, I'm trying to gather more clever man things that I will use. You're right. The real relations, deep and honest, between me and God means that no matter what I feel, even if I'm angry, like, I shouldn't block my feelings. This is
Right.
the reality. I'm a human being. I was born in sin. After everything that God did to me, I still sometimes feel envy, angry. And when rocket comes, I'm cursing. I'm sorry. And I'm cursing with the super bad words, and I do. And
Yeah.
then I should say, listen, yes, my weakness. I was so afraid. I was so afraid for my life. This is
Well,
the honest heart. And I believe that as longer person in service, as longer and deeper relations with God,
yeah.
they people take into their more obligation that they have to.
So the relationship with God actually gets deeper, and the trust becomes more real if I'm willing to be honest about all of this, and if I have the support, somebody to listen and support, and if I
Right,
just catch a glimpse of the love that God is providing for us, even in this terrible situation, then something good can happen.
right. And stigma and these thoughts, I don't know where it comes from. I don't think it only comes from the church and from the rules, but sometimes it is.
Sometimes it does, yeah,
Mainly, to be honest, the biggest prison that built it is over here in my head, and every
and
single person did these things to his or herself, just building the prison from I'm not supposed to, I can't, this is not the people of God are not in fear, people of God not doing this and that. Sometimes we can hear it from the cathedral, from the church, but
yeah,
mainly the voice
we,
in your head.
yeah, the voice in our head, yeah, wherever that comes from, that we keep telling it to ourselves. And as long as we keep this prison and our thoughts and feelings and fears inside, we don't get the help we need.
We don't get help. We're going deeper to fears because the condition is very stable. You're in fear, trauma and emotions will not go anywhere on its own.
Yeah,
Trauma, if I will pretend that I'm not traumatized, it's not gonna end
no,
with, with happy end. In a year, I will get consequences of what's happening now.
right,
No matter how, my emotion will find the exit. Will it be weak weakness of my body? Will it be my mental issues? Will it be
yeah,
another
yeah.
gonna happen to me?
So
The
I have to be willing, you're saying, to make myself vulnerable,
pardon?
to admit and to acknowledge and to cry and to shout if I need to, and believe that God can handle that, that He's big enough and loving enough.
Right. And I never hear from people that they really partially believe. They really and truly believe in God, but they are not transparent with Him. They are
Yeah.
not transparent. I believe, but He doesn't have time to help me. My problem is so weak and it's all on me. It's all on me. Doesn't work
Then
like
I
this.
really don't believe, not fully believe, not completely surrender to Him as He is asking me to do, and then be shocked by how He shows up. And I think He did during that retreat in different ways. And you were certainly a gift to us, and hopefully we were to each other as well.
We had one guy in our retreat who was filming, partially filming of what happened, and I believe
Yes.
that invited him. He came to me and say that he's the one from the family. Everyone is in Ukraine who's the Christian and even not a Christian knows this family from Odessa. When the young lady with her little baby, like a couple of months old, died from the rocket from the Russia. And he has another two sisters and him and his parents, and they are all destroyed. They are all broken apart, and no one go to ask for help. because of this stigma
The
that
stigma of asking for help.
are not supposed to. They need just to pray. They don't need to go to other people and talk. They don't need to get help, and etc. And he was crying and he said, "Listen, thank you for talking about um, this particular point. It's important." And I never thought that it's that important in our Christian society. I never thought about this.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's essential now. I mean, we're getting down to really what the basics of human life and what human need really is. And this war sort of exposes all of that because there really is no way to hide from the threat. It's coming every day. It opens up the wound. It's one thing to do trauma therapy with someone who had something in their childhood and now to help them process that, but this is ongoing and the future is uncertain. There's more trauma to come. So to do what you are asking us to do, which seems like the hardest thing in the world, to be this open, this transparent, and trust God even in the midst of the questions that I haven't answered yet, is so critical. And on the other side of it, when we're trying to help somebody, we can't be afraid of their panic and their fear and their anger.
Yeah, it's another phase of trauma. When you think that you're okay, but you cannot stand other person trauma, you can't be with someone who's crying or saying these stories.
Yeah, yeah,
Yours, it's the mirror. Very important to be very, very careful and very attentive to yourself in that.
yeah, yeah. You know, you have said so much that people are going to be reflecting on so far. And I think we can kind of close this. I'd like to go on for another few hours, but I want people to just sort of meditate on what you've been sharing and what we've been discussing here, because it applies to us here in this country. We have our own version of trauma here in the US. We have complicated situations here and fear here and uncertainty about our future. And I feel such a connection. I've been 4 times now to Ukraine. And this whole world that you're talking about has opened me up in new ways and expanded my view both of the human condition, but also of the kingdom of God and how God is at work in places that I've never been to before. So uh, I love walking alongside you for a little while here. And I would love to stay in touch with you and your work. And my wife and I send a huge hug your way to you.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you for everything you do. I know that a couple of years ago, many Americans and European people didn't know where's Ukraine in the map even.
That's
Now,
right.
I want our place and our people and our stories be the point of huge, love and life explosion. I
Yeah.
want us to bring the pure humanity back. For that,
Yes.
we need to understand that that feeling that we're sharing, that pain that we're sharing, that complicated time that we're sharing, they are not endless. But I want to be the
Right.
voice. I want to be
Right.
the voice of science, of psychology. I want to be the voice of Christian. I want to be the voice of Ukrainian. Thank you
And you
for
are.
your opportunity to give us this stage, to coming, to have this braveness to come to Ukraine. I'm telling you, it's not easy. I know it. As a Ukrainian, I know how complicated to come here, sirens, be here, knowing that your family, your kids, your grandkids are in the safe place, but you may, be in danger. And we really admire every single step that people are doing to highlight Ukrainian problems and Ukrainian needs. I'm very, very grateful on behalf of all the Ukrainians.
Well, it's my privilege. It's our calling to do that, and we have fallen in love with the people we have met, and we feel attached even at a distance, and we look forward to coming back. And of course, we look forward to the end of this war and the peace that will come And the healing that needs to continue to come will take years, obviously, for the land and for the people, for the communities, and for the revival of an authentic faith that is strong enough to handle anything that comes at us because God is with us. So thank you for this conversation. And I'm so grateful that you're willing to share your thoughts. And we we have a lot more to learn. So let's keep open minds and hearts for each other.
Thank you so much. Take care
All
and
right,
stay.
take care. Bye bye.